Hello everybody, it is I, Brian the Pirate, and I am joined again by the absolutely adorable
Peachy Pixel.
Yeah! I knew he was gonna do it.
and the limelight
And
hogger.
the heinous Pulp Fictionally.
But yes, welcome to episode 4 of the podcast. It's been a bit of a dry week or so of industry news, but we've got a lot of Diddy topics for you. And we've got a couple of games to gush about. But first of all, I think Pulp should start by explaining why we're late. And her bucket.
This asshole.
Daylight savings time in the state of California because I live in the States. Unlike this Welsh bastard. And I don't know where the fuck you're from.
I'm British, I'm English.
Britain.
For those wondering.
It's because of me. I live in the States. I'm the only one. A surprise. We have daylight savings time last weekend. I lost an hour of sleep. Isn't it fun? But also
your bucket. It's rained again?
I had to, for those who are listening, I raise my eyebrows at Peachy every now and again to make sure I get his attention.
Right. But yes.
I'm paying attention. I'm present. I'm sorry. I've been stripping all day.
Fuck.
Paint strip. What? My minis have been
Green
What?
stuff world.
Don't be weird. What?
I'm stripping in the paint variety.
Clearly.
With regards to the time, so this week, for those of you stateside, it is starting an hour later, but next week it should be back to the usual scheduled time because the UK will be doing daylight savings time. Sorry, not next week, 2 weeks from now. So yes, apologies for those who stateside who are like, why is this an hour later than usual? As Pulp said, daylight savings kicked in the States.
It's not my fault.
It's not Pulp's fault.
It's the country's fault.
It's the country's fault.
This is Joe Biden's fault.
All Joe Biden's
He's been
fault.
skidamaringed. He's skidamaringed.
But aside from being late, how are you feeling today, Pulp? Are we good? Are we ready? Are we excited for your day? Because you're in the
I'm
middle of
ready,
the
except
afternoon.
that I feel we have to start the stream with Lance Reddick.
Lance Reddick? Sure, we can go ahead with that. If you with me,
I think we should start with that because
take the lead. Go ahead.
the myth, the legend, voice of Destiny. What's the character's name again? Zavala. I always get the names wrong. I'm really bad about names. Zavala. Everyone's been going over to Zavala and making their own tributes. If you haven't done that, please do. He was also in The Wire.
Isn't he the concierge in John Wick?
That's the only thing
No.
I've seen him in.
Okay, I only watched John Wick once, and the reason why was because I don't like the idea of I don't like getting when animals die.
That's fair enough.
Well, no, it's John Wick. So you and John Wick.
You get on.
It's this constant like battle, like internal battle. Like, God, Keanu Reeves, what a babe, but puppy dies.
For those not familiar with the story of John Wick, a man gets a dog, the dog dies, he kills everyone, and then gets another dog. The end.
But he gets another dog.
Yes, eventually.
Well,
I think he gets a
I know.
boxer,
I don't know.
if I remember rightly.
Isn't it like a beagle puppy he had in the beginning?
Something along those lines, yeah. That his wife got him or something.
Yeah, and I have a dachshund, so little hound dogs are my favorite. Little long ears where they stumble on their own ear. I didn't watch John Wick for a long time. Anyway, Lance Reddick just passed away.
Right.
So go. I'm not meaning to laugh about that. I'm just like, oh my god, I'm talking about dogs.
So when this came up in the agenda, I'm like, I don't know who that is. Because I didn't know who that was. And everyone, I was like, he must be prolific because everyone is talking about him.
I found out when my fiance was taking a shit and he screamed from the bathroom, Lance Reddick died. And I was like, who? So, and that's not me being a bitch. It's just, I didn't know either because I don't play Destiny either.
Right.
But from what I understand, this is a big deal.
Yes.
And he was 60, so I feel that's very young.
Yeah, he was quite a big part of the community as far as I'm aware. I think I saw earlier that he was literally playing the game the day he died. Do we know how he died? Was it an accident?
No,
illness,
I looked
age?
into it. I think last I heard was when I asked, it was natural causes, but 60's young.
Yes, agreed.
Well,
Yes. Do you know how people can pay tribute within the game? Are they doing a
what they've been
specific
doing
thing?
is they've been going up to Zavala in the main hub, and they've been kneeling in front of him.
Oh, that's actually very, very sweet.
It's really sweet. It really is sweet.
Okay. Well, rest in peace to
rest in peace, sir.
fine
Rest in
gentleman.
power.
Hopefully, people will be able to remember his legacy for years to come. Let's jump on to a slightly more, I was going to say slightly more jovial subject, but the first topic that we have in hand is regarding Stalker 2 and the devs getting hacked, unfortunately. So let me just,
oh my god!
Yeah, let me just bring up.
So let's go to a jovial topic. Let's talk about hacking.
Yeah, well, to be fair, it kind of finishes in a jovial manner.
War, let's just bring
War!
it down.
Let's talk about.
Yeah, so as
Talk about drones.
as some folks may not know, the devs for Stalker 2, they are all living in Ukraine, which is currently being torn by war. And they've just posted a statement in the last few days with regards to basically some nefarious characters maliciously hacking and stealing, I think, a bunch of their source code. I'll go through the statement in a moment. And effectively, the devs have turned around and gone, expect spoilers because we're not going to succumb to their demands, basically. The demands are kind of like jank as well. It's all like propaganda and stuff, but yeah. So I'll just quickly go through the statement. Recently, our employees' account for a collective work with images application was hacked. The responsibility for this was claimed by a community from a Russian social network. They are threatening to use the obtained data for blackmail and intimidation. This is not the first attempt to hack and leak our data, including personal information. We have been enduring constant cyber attacks for more than a year now. We have faced blackmail, acts of aggression, hacks, attempts to hurt players and fans, and efforts to damage the development process of the reputation of our company. We are a Ukrainian company, and like most Ukrainians, we have experienced many things that are much more terrifying: destroyed houses, ruined lives, and the deaths of our loved ones. Attempts to blackmail or intimidate us are completely futile. Our unwavering commitment to supporting our country remains unchanged. We will continue to do everything possible to support Ukraine, and this won't change in the future under any circumstances. Despite the attempts to break us, we remain strong and courageous, because when you believe in something and love it with all your heart, you have to defend it at all costs. We have been through a lot. However, these challenges only encourage us to work even harder, because we believe that the truth is on our side. Evil will never win. In the event of any leaks, we ask that you refrain from watching or distributing information about Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl. Outdated and work-in-progress materials may dilute the impression of the final idea that we have put into the game. We encourage you to stay patient and wait for the official release for the best experience possible. We believe that you will love it. We'd like to express our deepest appreciation for our loyal community. We are overwhelmed by the response and support we have received from you. Thank you for that. From each and every member of the GSC Game World team, our mission is to commit all of our strength and passion to completing the project and deliver it to you. Despite all the obstacles on the way, your support is our inspiration. Glory to Ukraine. Which I think is yeah, I think that's a pretty damn good statement from the devs there.
That's an amazing statement. Mad respect.
Mad respect indeed. So yeah, they've basically said, expect leaks. We're not going to succumb to the threats. Some of these devs are literally in the army, the Ukraine army, when we're enlisted. So they're literally being soldiers and still developing in the game. And then some scumbags just come along and do this. So
the realism is going to be off the charts in that game.
Oh yeah. I'm going to assume you're a Stalker fan, Peachy?
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I know my guy, it turns out. So yeah. So let's talk a bit about how you as a developer would handle this. Like, obviously, if you were to get hacked, would you be tempted to succumb to it to prevent people from having the game spoiled, or would you say, nah, fuck you?
I would 100% be tempted, because you've seen what happens when alpha builds, early builds get leaked. People saw a build of GTA 6 from like when GTA 5 was in development and said that looks shit, and everyone was like, this is so shit. Like, people are collectively dumb. A person
Yeah,
is
they
clever.
are.
People are collectively dumb, and I would be like, no, please don't show that. But you know, if I was in a fucking war zone and a soldier that is putting my life on the line to defend my country, I would I can understand where they're like, fuck off.
Right.
I got more important things to deal with.
Right. No, for sure. For sure. Do we know when Stalker 2's due out? Did they allude to that?
I think they did, but this was before Russian
Right. No, for sure.
stuff.
Right. Yeah. No, that's fair play. How about you,
So
Paul?
as an American, we have the our culture is to go fuck yourself. I fuck myself first, and most of the time, like, I feel if it was me as the developer, I would just release spoilers on my own.
I was gonna say it sounds like you're just gonna go like, you know what? Here, no, everyone have it.
No, everyone has it. What? Oh, what?
Please don't give
what?
your source code
you're
to
only
everyone.
your only ace in the hole was to give me out my spoilers. Here you go. As American, fuck you.
Right.
It can be really damaging to. I mean, that's not a huge fucking triple.
Let me put this in a more like rational sense as in a non-American math, way of speaking it. So here's the thing. I'm of the mind when something comes from someone else, it always sounds worse. So it comes from you.
Right.
It always softens the blow. So in the case when it comes to like spoilers, I would assume is like, so let's look at The Last of Us leak as a good example. Everyone freaked out at The Last of Us 2 leak.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh my God, Joel dies. Imagine if like it was Naughty Dog who was like, hey guys, spoiler alert. Joel's gonna be, oh my God, beating it up with a fucking golf club. I know it's kind of sucks. It wouldn't sound as
I haven't
bad
played the game, by the way.
Huh?
I haven't played The Last of Us 2, by the way.
Me neither.
Spoiler. Joel dies.
To be fair, I knew he did die, but don't worry.
So essentially, it's not about this protecting the IP. It's just you want to spoiler everything in the world.
No, well, I mean,
I know I'm roasting you.
What I'm saying, I'm utilizing this as an example.
Yeah.
Because remember, it was a disgruntled developer. Because remember that like there's all this information that came out about Naughty Dog about how they mistreated developers. They were like laying people off constantly, hiring them as a controversial. We don't need to go into the details about that. The point I'm making is it was the fact that someone leaked that information and people had that reaction. And if it was Naughty Dog themselves going like, hey guys, spoiler, Joel dies, people would still be upset, but it would sound as like, for some reason, it sounds less malicious. So in the case with Stalker 2, just go like, put up the proverbial middle finger and just be like, what do you want to know? I'll tell you. Because this is what they're holding above my head. The power move is I will give you the spoilers. But I'm also an American who we're kind of dumb idiots. Let's shoot our guns in the air.
It works. It can work.
I mean, they don't have an option. They can't stop
What else do you have to? What else do you have? Succumb, fall in line with what their demands are, or just be giving the proverbial middle finger and be like, oh, okay, here are the spoilers.
Right. I mean,
also, since the game is still in development, you can also make changes if you. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think there's a few things to
completely 180 during development.
I would go the attitude of like, did you ever are you guys at all fans of the Song of Ice and Fire series or Game of Thrones? Do you remember when Gurm was asked, what if like a fan base like starts like, manages to guess the plot twist? And he's like, if you've been setting up the story as like the butler did it, but if you change it to the maid did it, well, now it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, release the fucking like, okay, you're holding like the story, the spoilers of the story over there, everyone over your head. Release it. It's not gonna fucking change the fact that people are still gonna enjoy the media anyway.
Yeah. I think for me, there's a couple of things to consider. We don't know what they were threatened with. Like, was it just cash? From what I understand,
I was meaning like the spoiler threshold.
Yeah, of course. In the case of Stalker 2, I think it was just, again, more propaganda stuff to do specifically about the war, not like, hi, we don't like Ukraine, give us money or anything like that. With that in mind, I think it would also depend, for me personally, if I was to be in the scenario, it would depend on when the hack occurred, or what information, or the date or the age of the information as well. Because if it's close to release, but the information they've got is archaic bullshit from like a first build, I'd be like, no, off you, kind of thing, because it doesn't matter. In the case of Grand Theft Auto 6, for example, that was in the news cycle.
What spoilers are you going to put for Grand Theft Auto? Cars.
Yeah, potentially. But in the case of Grand Theft Auto, it was like a build from a few years ago. It's still not going to come out for a few years. So whilst there was negativity about it for like a week in the news cycle, people have already forgotten about it. And then, of course, when they do come closer to announcing and making trailers and whatever marketing they do, it will be completely different footage that we'll be looking at, rather than like wireframe work and stuff like that. So I think for me, it would depend on like a few of those factors.
I do have to acknowledge that I confused Grand Theft Auto with Gran Turismo for a second.
They both have cars.
It was St. Patrick's Day yesterday,
both
so
have cars. That's correct.
they both have cars, but it was St. Patrick's Day yesterday, and I did drink whiskey.
It's okay. They both have cars. I thought you just meant the cars in Grand Theft Auto. If you said nothing, you would have been fine.
Yeah,
no
you
one
could
would
have
have
gone away with
suspected.
that.
But you know, okay, so this is how you know. This is how you know I'm a good homie to you guys. I open up and be like, I was wrong.
I was wrong.
Sometimes I do shit wrong just so I can admit I was wrong to seem like a good person.
Shit wrong.
He
I
doesn't
do
weigh
shit
himself.
wrong.
He
Not
doesn't weigh
literal
himself.
shit. Not literal. I poo correctly, madam. Okay.
You don't weigh yourself.
I don't.
I do not weigh myself.
So on to the,
Well,
to
you
the
never,
next
you never
subject.
tried to balance it out. Okay.
So
All right, go, Brian. I'm sorry.
enough about poo. And the next subject is that The Last of Us is finished. The episode.
I still have to watch the last couple episodes. The last one I watched was the one when
No spoilers.
the
We'll do a spoiler cast
no
when
spoilers.
you finished it.
it's spoilers. It's in the game. All right.
We'll do a spoiler cast when you finished it. But yeah, what episode do you reckon you're on? There's 9 in total.
Oh, so I'm on episode nothing.
No, it's actually really good. It was the one with the mall.
Right.
And the
Okay.
home.
Yeah. That's fair. We'll have a spoiler cast where we get to properly talk about it, because I actually really want to.
I would love to talk about my feelings.
Yes, I do too, because you've not played the game, and I actually want to know what your opinion
I
is.
know about the story of the game.
I know you know about it.
I'm one of those people who likes to spoil themselves.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, because you've not watched the game, you don't like have that perspective of someone going, oh yeah, they did this in the game or whatever, you know what I mean? So it would be really cool to have that perspective, as opposed to me, someone who's played the game and then watch the show. Do you see what I'm saying?
Did you play the game?
I've played the game. I've played the first one.
Oh
not
my
the second
god,
one.
Peachy, did we establish that Brian played the game?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he played the game. He hasn't played The Last of Us 2.
Correct.
Oh, that's the one you didn't play. I didn't think that you played. Okay.
Yeah, I've played the first one.
Did I ever tell you that someone gave me that for free? Just like, hey, you want to play this? I'm like, not really.
Fair.
That's my reaction to The Last of Us. You want to play this? No.
Well, remember how I described my feelings about The Last of Us? It's a misery simulator. And then someone's like, hey, have you ever played Last of Us 2? You want to play it? No.
Do you like misery? Then, boy.
Do you like
There's
feeling
no.
sad? No, I don't like feeling sad, but I'll take it. I like free shit.
Right.
I just want to feel something.
But yeah, so The Last of Us, the series, has ended. So I think we'll do some kind of like spoiler cast where we get to go into
I would
detail
love to
about
have that because I have very offensive feelings.
offensive feelings. Okay, interesting. We'll see how that goes. But off the
They're not
back of
offensive.
that,
I'm offensive all the time.
fair.
Just for you guys.
But yeah, off the back of that, Druckmann confirmed there is going to be a part 2 or a season doing part 2. But it's going to actually be spread across multiple seasons, so we don't know if it's like 2 or 3 or whatever. It's just multiple.
Standard. You knew that from the reception of the first one. There was going to be more.
Yeah, so we knew that we had a vague idea that they were going to carry on and do The Last of Us Part 2 as another.
I'm actually surprised that they're going to stretch out Last of Us 2 instead of like doing.
Think how much money that is.
I
think
know
it's
we
probably
all
more 'cause the
everyone
structure.
loves a good cash grab, but when you think about Last of Us, oh, you know what it is? Bella Ramsey, the girl who's playing as Ellie, she's getting older.
Yeah, so there's also, I obviously not played the second one, it kind of obviously follows two stories from my understanding, or at least from two character perspectives, obviously Joel and then Abby.
Okay, so this is like kind of a spoiler thing, but I think a lot of people know this.
Let's not do any spoilers because people are really enjoying that. Let's not spoil The Last of Us.
Okay, like I said,
you haven't even seen it all, and you're really enjoying it. So there's probably people who are behind.
So because you already know that Last of Us 2 was already spoiled. I will wait until the spoiler cast, but I do have questions.
Yeah, so he confirmed that there is going to be, they're going to do part 2, but it's going to be spread across multiple seasons. I suspect. Yeah,
and then I think I saw like Neil Druckmann also said there's not going to be a part. There's not going to be like a new.
Yeah, so with regards to part 3, in the past they've said it's already written up, it's just not in production. Then they've confirmed that they're actually working on multiple projects, and then someone asked Neil very recently, is one of those projects The Last of Us Part 3? And he says, we have organized our pipeline so that sorry, no, that's Square Enix, ignore that. But he said something else.
They're all the same, they're cousins.
They've got a pipeline too.
Yeah, they probably do. But yeah, it was some like very ambiguous statement where it was like, oh, well, if we come up with something, we'll make it. And we're like, cool, so have you come up with something kind of thing? And it was just like vanish and then disappears.
From what I understand, and this is not a spoiler, I know that Last of Us 2 kind of leaves off not so much as like a cliffhanger, but like yeah, I forgot words for a second. But it's like not so much of a cliffhanger, but it's just kind of like, oh,
like if they chose not to, it would be fine, kind of thing. But they've also got the means.
I feel like it wouldn't affect the franchise, if they didn't. But like, dude, the fan base is so big and dedicated to The Last of Us. It would be stupid for them not to continue it,
especially with the show being as successful as it is as well.
And you have fucking Pedro Pascal.
I'm straight and I still fancy him.
He's dreamy. He's dreamy.
He's a nice guy. I've been meaning to watch The Mandalorian as well.
On, but that's probably just my kinks.
What?
Yeah.
His helmet on.
You can leave your head on. But yes, so Druckmann's alluded to that there might be a part 3. We just don't know. He's Druckmann, essentially.
And they're working on something else?
Multiple projects is the exact quote, so potentially more than 2.
Right for a dev studio. You probably, like, if you've just done, like, you've invested a lot of time, effort, and money and brain space to regardless of if you like the games, they are all-encompassing games that have large scope within their own universe. You're probably like, let's do something else. Doesn't mean we're done with this, but how about we, let's make chess 2 or whatever. Right,
yeah. And I think as the reason it's all come about is obviously because there's a big spotlight on The Last of Us right now. And there's obviously the previous statements where they're like, we've written it. So surely that means they've got something good. So yeah, it's all very ambiguous, but a lot of people are on one side of the fence or the other. They're like, yes, they are going to do it, or vehemently denying that it will exist ever, kind of thing. So we'll have to see.
Well, I feel like part 2 can absolutely be stretched probably about like 3 seasons at the most. But
can you come a bit closer, Pulp? I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's like I was saying that part 2 can absolutely be most likely stretched out to at least 3 seasons.
Right.
But it's gonna be an oof.
I wonder if they're going to do some filler in between, because obviously Ellie's quite a bit older, as you mentioned in part 2, yeah.
They're going to go all Naruto.
Naruto. No, don't say that. Don't upset me with a 100-episode arc of bollocks.
That's what I'm referring to.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
I
Don't
like
do
to
that.
go to my own chat. I like to say Naruto just to piss them off.
Yeah, don't manifest that bullshit. You behave. But that was about The Last of Us, really. The next thing on the agenda is Square Enix in a shareholder call.
Let me get my notes.
Now, last week we talked about a shareholder call where a game was announced. This time that's not happened. It was actually relatively normal if you can admit that your game sucks, which is what happened basically, and consider that as normal. Square Enix have said Forspoken didn't meet expectations, and then Luminous got...
That's understating it.
Yeah, then Luminous got shut down. So the studio that made the game and Final Fantasy 15.
I wanted to ask you a question about this.
Sure.
Wasn't Luminous?
Yes.
Wasn't that their first game?
No, Final Fantasy 15 was their first game, which also was launched to a bit of a shit show as well, with half of the game missing and things like that.
Wow.
And performance issues.
I really like Final Fantasy 15. I have fun with it. I like playing a boy band in the desert. It's great. But yeesh. From what I understand about the Forspoken, so I can disclose this now. I did transcriptions for Forspoken way before the game was even like I worked on a trailer that was still not fully complete.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember even seeing it then. I was like, that's not gonna go well. That doesn't look like a fun game. It looks like Kingdom Hearts kind of play style. From what I understand, it's the same. But I think for the most part, people kept complaining, not just the technical limitations, but it was also the character's just a piece of shit. No one likes her.
Yeah, so I've seen a few reviews on it.
I thought the clips I saw of that character that everyone hated, I thought she was kind of funny.
Yeah, so
she kind of made me laugh, but she made me laugh in a sense cunt, you're a cunt.
Right. The thing is, there's
the vibes as they were going for that kind of thing. Or maybe not. It's Phoenix.
So let me disclose this one thought, and then I really want to hear what you said. You have to say, Brian. But so I really get frustrated when people go oh, it's a woke game. It's is it? What's woke about it?
Woke is
the character coming in.
Don't like. That's what woke means now.
And it's I really hate that whole. It's a hand waving kind of term. It's the character was poorly written. There's poorly written dialogue, poorly written story, blah 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 blah. That doesn't mean it's woke.
Yeah.
It's just it's poorly written, and the game looks pretty, but it suffers from the shut the fuck up syndrome. God, stop talking to me.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it. And from what I understand, the main character is vastly unlikable. That doesn't mean it's woke. My only takeaway from that criticism is maybe the fact that the character is not white.
So
yeah, they're definitely pretty badly written and stuff.
It's just poorly written. It doesn't. It being poorly written doesn't make it woke.
Yeah. So there's been a lot of things that have gone viral within the Twitter sphere, the social media sphere, and things like that. So for the most part, if you watch a varied amount of reviews, a lot of it that isn't the viral propaganda machine, as it were, is that the character itself isn't so much poorly written. It's more that she doesn't make sense. It's an isekai, and she's obviously been transported to another world, and she keeps making references to her home world. And she's like, yeah, I'm from Hell's Kitchen, and she's saying that to some dude from another bloody dimension.
Really?
And they're like, well, yeah, so she basically something happens in New York. She's basically a bit of a hoodlum, and then ends up transported in this other world. And she's like, yeah, I can fight a dragon. I'm from Hell's Kitchen. And then the people that she's talking to in this other world are like, yeah, sure, I know what that is. I know what the Hell's Kitchen is. And it's just weird references like that.
To be fair, the only point of reference I have is I think it was Moist Critical being a compilation of his playthrough, and it's God, she's so unlikable. That was just it. That was the only takeaway I had. Was she's really unlikable.
Yeah, so there's some clips that where she does say some relatively funny things, but because of the marketing,
that Peachy likes.
Sorry,
that Peachy likes.
Yeah, I mean, I've
didn't
seen
see much because I don't give a fuck about video games at all.
But But no,
You're not a gamer.
I'm not a gamer.
there have been some like things that are like relatively sassy or witty, but the problem is the marketing prior to launch. Whoever edited like this particular video where she's like, I'm talking to a cuff, was really badly edited, and it just basically made the game look really cringe, and it's kind of just ridden off the coattails of that. So people were basically being probably a little bit too harsh. Like, it wasn't written well from like the overall opinion.
What I understand, the writing wasn't well done.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like some of the like people try to like latch on certain things that like in this case, like, you know, technical limitations.
Yeah.
Because I think everyone kind of like dogged on it enough. But I don't know if the game is necessarily bad. I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah.
I've never played it.
There's supposed
really
to be
don't.
some high like pros and like, good things to it.
I do remember looking into it, and we were talking about it like prior to launch. I was like, I have a feeling it's not really giving me that in depth of kind of gameplay. It reminds me a little bit like Kingdom Hearts. Like, you just the same single button press, you do the combo, and it looks fancy because of particle effects. And turns out it ended up being that way. So 0.1 pulp. But no, it's like I don't think the game is necessarily bad. Luminous, in regards to them being like they're entirely shut down, it says they're strike 2, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. I kind of saw it coming. I did want them to do well. I wanted Forspoken to do well, because when I first saw the trailer, like, what, 2 years ago at Game Awards, and like, oh, Big Dragon, like,
It
here's
did
the
look
fancy
cool.
magic.
The trailer looked cool.
Forspoken looks beautiful.
It does.
It really does. But I didn't know. That's why I had to ask. I was like, that was the first game, Final Fantasy 15. Oh, fuck. Word.
Yeah.
That failed project. And I like Final Fantasy 15 for anyone listening. I really like Final Fantasy 15. It was super fun. But that was basically like a whole shitstorm and a half to like get involved into. So, oh my god, it's like Luminous was set up to fail. It feels like.
Well, so Squeenix have killed multiple studios. They sold Eidos. They're terrible at business. They've just sacked their head guy, right? And they got in a new guy who seems to think exactly the same way as the old guy.
Yeah.
So I don't really see the point in that. Can we talk about NFTs?
Yeah, so I was going to say off the back of that.
Oh god, yeah, I want you guys to tell me about this because I don't know much about it, and I'm really interested.
Don't worry, you're in the same boat as everyone who's seen every piece of media about it.
Yeah, so off the back of that, Squeenix, despite shit canning Luminous, are going to have a pretty strong year. We've got Final Fantasy 16 coming out soon, Rebirth either toward the very end of the year or early next year. And basically they were asked about it, and this new guy that's replaced the previous guy who was doubling down on blockchain and NFTs when everyone except Squeenix was like, that's a terrible idea, what are you doing, you fucking maniac.
Even Ubisoft went, nah.
Yeah, even
We're done with
Ubisoft
that.
have given up on it, and they're like, no, we best not, because gamers hate that stuff. But they recently made the announcement of, we have organized our pipeline so that major title launches will not be concentrated solely in financial year 2024 and 23. We aim to have a well-distributed array of new releases in 2025 and, I think that's a typo, but 2024 and beyond. Additionally, we hope that you will eagerly anticipate the blockchain games we plan to launch in 2024 and 2023.
Let's talk about Symbiogenesis.
Yeah, Symbiogenesis. Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
The first trailer was just a logo. And they've just released the new trailer that tells us everything about their NFT game. And it's a map. It's a very well-drawn map with some really nice music. But it is a map.
That's why we get Peachy on board, was it just put some nice music on.
Just nice music, you know. And then they when pushed and people did some digging of the gameplay loop. The gameplay loop of Symbiogenesis. Essentially what you do in the game, there are 10,000 characters to collect. And you play through the story, through the couple of chapters. I think there's going to be 6. And then when you unlock those characters, you actually don't unlock those characters. You unlock the ability to buy those characters. But don't worry, Pulp. I know what you're thinking, but don't worry. You can use pictures of those characters as your profile picture on Facebook.
Oh, good. That's what I was hoping. But can I use those photos?
And their gameplay loop is literally trading, selling, buying NFTs, raising your cost of your NFT, and it's money. It's money, and at this point, the only thing Square Enix have is Yoshi P. That's the only thing they have right now.
And composers. They have really good composers.
They do have really good composers. I don't know who worked on the music for that NFT game, but I really hope they get hired for something else, because that was a really good song. Yeah, so you just play through the game, which sounds like it's going to be some narrative. It might even be some kind of visual novel, rather walking simulator, visual novel, storytelling thing. We don't know, because the 2 trailers they gave us, one of those was a logo, the other was a map. So
with nice music, Peachy.
With nice music for the trailer, that might not even be in the game.
You have to mention.
You don't know what's in the game. Like, they have said nothing about the game. It is essentially a trading hub for real world money and NFTs. You play the game and unlock the chance to buy something.
And use the photo for Facebook.
Although, obviously, anyone could right-click that photo and use it on their Facebook as well. But, they don't own it. That's on the blockchain, all right?
Is anyone really surprised that Square Enix is doing this, though? I mean, they have enough
Yes, money. I am actually surprised at this point, because it's I know Square Enix is a bit... Let's
stupid.
Sell this.
They're notorious for
selling of a remaster for way too much money.
No, wait. So let me put it this way: they're notorious for cash grabs.
Yeah, but this is so far
I'm
past the drop of NFT, right? NFT
I was actually honestly, PG. I was waiting for them to drop something regarding NFTs. They're so notorious for cash grabs, especially when it comes to like the Final Fantasy franchise.
Can you come closer to your mic? I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Can you come closer?
That wasn't a joke.
Yeah.
I can't hear you in the mic.
I think that's on your end, by the way, PG, because I hear it just fine.
Oh, it sounds like compression. We'll fuck around during the break. Okay. During the height of NFTs, that's when all the companies did that. I mean, the height was pretty bad because everyone's like, "Fuck off," and then it just fell off the face of the earth, and everyone just kind of went, "An NFT game? No, nah, nah." And I fully expected. I expect giant corporations to jump on whatever train gives them money, right? But then when it absolutely caves your business to follow that, I am surprised that Square Enix carried on with that, and it's got something to do with the guy that they just changed to a guy that thinks the same thing about NFTs, which is even more confusing.
It seems to be a common trend amongst like executive level tech bros. Like,
isn't it like YouTube's new the guy who's like now in charge of YouTube is also the same as about like NFTs.
There's a few. It seems to be founders of tech companies. Emmett Shear,
like
who we'll talk about later.
The tech bro gearheads, like they seem to be really big on it.
Yeah, so like Emmett Shear.
I don't know. All I'm saying is like with Square Enix, I'm really not surprised about anything they do, because like they've always been notorious for like cash grabs. Like, okay, I mean, even like Final Fantasy 7 right now, like the remakes and stuff. Do you remember there was like a few years ago, there was the first evolution of Final Fantasy 7, where like they were doing like different like spin-offs, blah 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 blah. And now they're just like, it's another resurgence right now. They're notorious for cash grabs. So them falling into the NFT blah, blah, makes sense to me.
Right. Yeah, I think, as Pulp has said, is Square Enix have never exactly had a level head on their shoulders. They'll come out with some bangers, and then they'll simultaneously do some weird shit just out of nowhere, and it's like, oh, all right then. So yeah, I think it's par for the course, and we just gotta keep a vigilant eye and be like, is Yoshi P involved? Yes, cool, it's gonna go well then, basically, which seems to be the case with Final Fantasy 14, of course, 16 coming out. And Final Fantasy 7 is doing pretty well. I'm happy with that.
Well, Final Fantasy 7 has always done really well. That's the thing. And
It's still not
I'm gonna be very, very like transparent here. I don't know shit about NFTs.
It's for the best.
It's still no, like I mean, everyone. It's like it's kind of like a term, like a phrase. It's not a phrase. Yeah, term that's been thrown around. I'm like NFTs, bad. Blockchain, bad. I hear that, and that's all I need to hear. So I'm just gonna be like completely transparent. I don't really give a shit about NFTs, so I don't care now. So when you said like, oh, they're investing like blockchains, NFTs, like, yeah, kind of goes flow with the your trend of behavior, I guess.
And NFTs are good for free market trading and ripping people off. It's really good.
I do not want to know, PG. Ignorance is bliss.
I mean, no, I'm going to give you a crash course on NFTs right now, okay?
Oh, God.
Here's a very simple example to get in your brain NFTs and NFT bros.
You don't own the artwork, though. It's usually artwork. You don't own it.
No, you don't. So the Bored Ape Yacht Club did an NFT game where you can play the game and get scores and try and unlock the ability to buy other NFTs. It's crazy that. The blockchain is all about Web3, right? 3.0, which is an open web where everything is there and out.
PG.
I haven't finished, okay?
No. Can we can just label Peachy? We can label this as Pulp's a woman.
No,
she doesn't understand.
Not this again.
Not a woman. Stop spreading these lies.
No, okay. No, I'm. Go on. I was just trying to mess with you.
So they champion Web 3.0 and the blockchain. When they did the game, they put it on Web 2 because you can just open and see everything on Web 3 and cheat their game, crack their game, and unlock all the stuff that's in it. It's hypocritical. It's just so they can have an open market to make as much money as possible and run off with the goods. Like the initial startup of certain Bitcoin type currencies.
So the thing is, like, Bitcoin, same with like blockchains, NFTs, all that stuff. I'm a woman, so I don't understand.
It's unregulated trading.
No, I understand that part. I'm being.
That's all you need.
I'm fucking with you guys. I actually just like don't really care to know.
Yeah, that's fair. And to be fair, we don't need to discuss this any further. It's basically Square Enix are being stupid again, and hopefully they won't fuck up any other projects that we actually like. But,
like they've already. All right.
But
did they let
where is my boy band in the desert?
No, they'll be back.
Did they
one
let
day.
the Deus Ex IP go with Eidos?
I believe so. Yeah, I think Embrace has got it.
Come on, fuck you, Squeenix.
Yeah, I think Embrace has got it, and I think they have said that they want to do something with it. So potentially. A very quick note as well. Greg Street is leaving Riot. For those of you who don't know, Greg Street was the creative director, I want to say, for their MMO project, which a lot of people have got high hopes for because obviously it's Riot and they've made very, very successful games. He was very transparent with the community as well. He actually gave us quite a bit of info, considering we don't actually have any official things from Riot, PR and community managers and whatnot. But yeah, just wanted to touch upon it very quickly that he's leaving. Hopefully that doesn't mean it will go to shit. They'll probably get someone who's just as talented to replace him, and it's nothing like worrying either. He just wants to spend time with his family, like you do. Aside from that,
juices it up,
and he's juicing it up. You guys,
bro,
Pope, do you like survival games?
I like them, but I suck at them.
Right, so, and I believe Peachy, do you like survival games?
No,
you hate them.
I'm just not good at them. Like I was playing Sons of... Dude, I was playing Sons of... I have a funny story about Minecraft. I was playing Sons of the Forest, and I think my brain shut down, and I don't like building shit. Like, let's have a build a hub. No.
Right. I'm the opposite. I will either go all in on building something and I'll make a big frigging castle and then I'll stop playing the game for several years. Or other people will be building shit and I'll be like, I'm going to go solo this cave that needs 12 people. I'll be back.
Oh, no, I'll solo a cave. I was all about like the caves and shit. It's just, I don't want to build shit. Like,
I like filing in survival games.
Right.
I really like in Minecraft particularly because that's
just organizing things.
Game.
My funny story about Minecraft is very short. It puts me to sleep. I used to work with a kid like years ago. I was a behavior therapist for the child, and I would play Minecraft with them. And the amount of times I would pass out on the couch just because the music of Minecraft was so soothing. I'd be like.
That the music, I could talk about
so calming
hours about the music.
Also, the little villager sounds
so clever.
Well, with regards to survival games, would you guys play a game if it was heavily involved with Shroud and Sacriel as part of the creative process?
Oh,
no. Okay. Why
what's
not?
the difference? It's just going to be get good on top of a survival game, which none of those things appeal to me.
My whole life is just get good. So anyway, it doesn't matter.
According,
live that life. Get good.
My whole life.
According to like the thing playing on screen now, they did a little promo. They're actually involved in the process and not just like, oh, you've got to be good at it. Like I think Shroud like talks about the gunplay and stuff like that and how to make it like fun. Sacriel's like talking about the building aspects and stuff like that and the exploration aspects of it. But yeah, they're basically making a survival shooter with splash damage. Have you guys heard anything about this?
I hadn't until you'd actually put it in the agenda.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I only just came across it
know
because
who
someone else
Shroud
mentioned it.
is. I just don't know much about him. But you don't. Seems like he's always making waves. Apparently, like my mouse is a Shroud mouse.
Right.
He is a get good gamer. He's very good at it.
No. I was just saying, like, he is someone who I would just like say, I don't know who he is, but good for him.
So, for those who may not know, Shroud was actually involved in the development for Valorant. He like consulted on the gunplay and that. So if you like Valorant gunplay, you could probably thank him for that. So likewise, he's going to be like not just consulting in this regard. He's actually part of the team. I think I'm not sure if it's a real executive role, but he's executive creator. And I think the same title goes to Sacriel, who plays obviously a lot of shooters as well, a lot of survival games and things like that. So for me, it's something
I was
I'll
just
be keeping an eye
informed that
on.
he's like one of the best first-person shooters.
Yeah,
like,
Shroud is like one of the best, or at least reputed for being consistently good.
And like I have no ill feelings towards Shroud. So when I say like good for him,
Yeah,
I know who he is, and like I said, like my mouse apparently is, he had it's a collab with him, and it's like I don't know who he is, but good for him. He seems like
yeah.
as long as you're not on my radar. Yeah, he good for that guy.
Good for him.
Is it a direct answer to He Who Shall Be Not Named on Twitch is game?
I actually genuinely have no idea who you're talking about.
I have no idea who you're talking about too.
Okay, I don't know what the rules are, but he was banned off Twitch, and
I mean, we can mention his name. He's
so
not allowed
Dr.
on
Disrespect
the
is
stream.
making a game, because he used to be a mapper, like back in old school shooters and stuff, and they're heavily working. I think they've just done an open alpha or beta or something.
Okay, wait. Can you explain to me what a mapper is? Because when I hear map, I don't.
So a game map, like an arena to shoot people on.
Holy shit! My brain went the wrong way.
Okay. Oh, I think I know where you're bringing on. Moving on. Yeah, no,
it's fine. It's fine. I'm happy I asked because like, my brain immediately went to like the wrong direction. Like, I really want to like understand fully the content.
Yeah. So I think he dabbled around in like breaking shit on his desk. I think he dabbled around in like CS:GO and making maps and stuff for that. And then he was speaking to
That
I don't
kind
know
of
what the
mapping.
development company is, but they were like, "Hey, let's make a map for this." And then now he's working on his own game. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay. Do you know, if you're a gamer and you're into your shooters, you probably want someone who is a gamer and into shooters working on the game that you're going to play. It makes absolute sense, and it will probably be better for it.
Right. Yeah, I think from my perspective, I am cautiously optimistic. I think they can bring some good insights to it, for lack of a less cringier phrase. They're professional gamers, so they know what gamers like and can bring that insight to developers who are likewise gamers, but probably what you may find with any creative process, if you're involved in the project, you're probably too close to it sometimes. So I think that these two content creators can then bring that outside perspective, like, okay, but how about this, or this may be annoying, or things like that, much like how Shroud did with Valorant and getting the gunplay the way it is. So yeah, it's something I just wanted to raise.
I just looked over at the video you have premiering, and this is no front to Shroud. I had no idea what he looked like.
Yeah, he's
so
like, he's just a tiny little dude. He's just a dude. Really good at shooting people in Minecraft.
Is he really a manlet?
A manlet.
I mean,
no.
I think he's just a guy.
He's just this guy, He's just
so I was raised by my mama by like always find something nice to say about people. He looks like he has nice skin.
Yes. Sure.
Oh my god, he is tiny.
I think it doesn't help that Sacriel is relatively tall, which is the guy with the goatee.
He's a big boy.
Yeah. And he's British and lives in Canada.
Oh, he's British?
Yeah, Sacriel is married to Shannon, who you may have seen on Twitter, used to work for Twitch.
Z-Killer.
Yeah, Shannon Z-Killer.
Oh, I thought you said e-girl, and I was like...
No. She's definitely not an e-girl. No. Definitely not. But, yeah.
You can say a lot of things about Shannon. She's definitely not an e-girl.
Definitely not an e-girl. Good laugh from what from my interactions that I've had with her.
I still don't know what an e-girl is, so it's fine.
You're all good. Probably for the best.
I just misheard you, so I was just like,
no worries. Well, the next thing on the agenda is our boy Emmett Shear, Bowtie, CEO of Twitch, is resigning from Twitch.
RIP.
I'm not going to read out the entire statement because it's a load of bollocks, frankly, but basically he's wanting to focus on being a father and probably NFTs, to be honest, because he's all about... I'm not even kidding.
Wait, I love that we just make a circle back to NFTs.
Yeah, his entire Twitter's all about it, but essentially, like, the last bit of the last paragraph, he's basically saying, with my first child born, I've been reflecting on my future with Twitch. Twitch often feels like, to me, like a child I've been raising well. It's 16, it can fly the coop. I'm going to focus on my kids, etc. And that's about it. What do you guys think? Do you think it will be a big deal that Emmett is leaving?
If you don't know, Emmett was one of the people that's in the startup.
Co-founder, yeah.
Yeah, so there are still old guard there. It's not like everyone's gone and been sacked by Amazon and replaced, so I'm memeing mostly, but like essentially that is the end of an era for Twitch. And is that going to be good or bad? Yeah, I don't know.
Honestly, I'm just gonna withhold any opinions on this, because it's really unusual timing too. At the same time, as like YouTube's like CEO was resigning too.
I'm trying to remember what her reason was. Oh, she was quite upfront about it. She basically was saying it was stressing her the fuck out.
I was just like, I'm just pointing out, it's very unusual timing. That like YouTube CEO just like resigned, and now it's Twitch's CEO resigning. Interesting.
Probably didn't have as much input as he did originally.
I don't really think so. I'm gonna withhold any opinions that were like, I don't really have any opinions about it. Didn't affect me. I think like it will affect people more on like the higher end of like, influence.
Right.
I don't know.
So from my understanding, there seems to be two opinions or two groups of people that have strong opinions about Emmett Shear. There's the people that are like, yeah, he was all right. Like, he was cool back in the day.
I think I fall in that category. It's like, I don't know. Actually, I fall in the category like, I don't know anything about him.
Okay. So I'll explain. So as Peachy was saying, he was the co-founder, like Justin TV levels of OG. Then a lot of people have the opinion that when Amazon bought Twitch, he became a lot more out of touch, some have said, and things like that. Some others said no, like he still vibes with Twitch. He knows what the original principles of Twitch and like bleed purple and all that bollocks is all about. But other
I like the
people's
heart.
like
For those who are not watching, Ryan did a little heart.
yeah, I'm actually wearing
like
Twitch merch right now as well.
I have Twitch merch. Here's the thing, it's like
It's purple.
I don't
That's
know.
literally why I buy it. I'm like, oh wow, they've got more purple clothes that are comfy. The comfy, like Henleys. I like Henleys, man. They're comfy. But yeah, I digress. But personally, we've already kind of been introduced to the guy who replaces him anyway, who was the vice president, and he's going to become the CEO.
Instantly, that was instant.
Yeah,
That was definitely a discussion that happened with
let me
people
put it
involved.
this way. So I don't know. I don't really. Just this is gonna sound really kind of bitchy, but I don't mean this in a bitchy way. I don't really give a shit who's like in charge about Twitch, because from what I've noticed, I don't agree with a lot of changes Twitch has constantly been making to the platform.
right.
Especially so it's very hands off, like whoopsie poopsie, just turn out the music. Like I really in a way I kind of feel like any change might be a good change at this point, because Twitch is so heavily mismanaged, like especially when you have Amazon money, and when it comes to the whole like the copyright claim issue, it's like, oh, just turn it off.
Right.
Sure.
I think what you gotta remember is
So I honestly, so this doesn't affect me in any way. I feel it doesn't affect me in any way. And in a way, I kind of feel like any change might result in a good change, because clearly Twitch is kind of, I don't know what the fuck's going on with Twitch's management. It's at this point garbage. Bleed purple.
Right.
So Emmett is Olgard. He wasn't raised as a CEO. He made a startup and then grew to be a CEO essentially.
And it shows.
What Amazon bring in are people who have been trained to be CEO. They've been CEOs or higher ups or vice presidents of different companies and stuff. So they are trained to be CEOs. And I don't know if that's going to make it worse because, fuck all corporations.
Well,
or
what's
better
bizarre,
because they know how to make things work.
well, here's what's bizarre to me. So it shows that you're not, well versed in like how to corporate manage. And I'm not saying like, oh yay, corporations. It's more like, you guys have fucking Jeff Bezos money. What the fuck is going on? So I'm firmly in the stance like any change could potentially be a good change, unless NFTs are involved.
Right. Right. Which they could be. No, I'm kidding.
They are bringing in Twitch NFT.
Oh God.
No, I think Twitch would not go that low, to be fair, in that regard. I think that's something they're very aware of.
I'm honest to God, like, I don't like to sound so like, so much of a, so negative or jaded. It's just like, I like being on Twitch, and I think that there's a lot of potential in Twitch, and it's so clear how mismanaged it is. Like the whole like whoopsie poopsie, just turn off the music, and everything that happened with like I know you know about this set, Peachy, the cyberpunk shit, where like there was a song under streamer mode, like that was like, people were getting like claimed for it, and it's like, Jesus, like you shouldn't have to worry about that, and you have Jeff Bezos money.
Right.
All they have to do is utilize those billions, whatever the fuck. What is he, a billionaire, millionaire? Doesn't matter. He's bald, and just like utilize that money and try to like figure out a way to like, instead of being like turn off the music, maybe figure out licensing.
They have done that to a degree.
Yeah, right.
I do. We have muted VODs instead of copyright strikes.
Right.
I just turn off VODs when I'm potentially going to be using game, footage that could be striked. And like I remember when this whole like the copy strikes shit was going on. I was playing you guys know Brutal Legend. I stopped playing it because I got spooked. So I was like, oh, I don't want to get like,
No, that's fair.
I don't want to get in trouble. And like that's not, I used to do Metal Mondays on my chat on my on my channel. If you guys are listening, I like to listen to metal music, and I like to talk about metal music a lot. But anyway, I turn off bots when I do that because it's like I don't want to get in trouble.
Right.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
Who copy
absolve you
strikes
of-
metal music?
that doesn't absolve you of the problem, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's
it'll
the best I can
circumvent the
do.
issues you get. Yeah.
It's the best I can do. So I'm of the mind. I think. So when I hear about like Twitch's CEO like resigning, it's like, and he was like co-founder, blah blah blah. Dude, any change might be good change at this point because something has to happen with Twitch.
Yeah.
You turned off hosting. You took away, we got this copyright issue that's fucking garbage.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think there's a lot of tangents we could go down with regards to Twitch.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm stopping myself right now.
Yeah, you're all good.
It's just that there's so many. So I'm taking the wait and see position.
Yeah, that's fair. And a lot of people are likewise taking that same position. Some others are nervous about the new guy because he started the year pretty poorly with some weird ass blog at the very beginning of the year.
God!
It's that guy. Yeah, it's that guy.
Bring
He's
the old
taken
guy
over.
back.
Yeah, so it's a mixed bag. But if we'll move on to very quickly before we go into break, the Activision Blizzard thing. Basically, I think she's the executive vice president and the chief communications officer of Activision Blizzard, basically said that she knows for a fact that Jim Ryan, the guy who basically runs Sony, has said, I don't give a fuck about COD, I just don't want you to get bought by Microsoft. And that is huge, because obviously that's going to make them look so bad after all this bollocks that Sony are going through, going, oh, they're going to sabotage COD for us and things like that. And then the person from Activision Blizzard's like, okay, well, Microsoft have offered you a better deal than we would ever offer you as Activision Blizzard. And now you just outed that you literally just don't want Microsoft to get bigger. And that's the only reason. It's nothing to do with COD. They literally admitted it.
My only opinion about this is it's Blizzard.
Yeah. And
I can't talk. I'm just gonna be honest. I can't talk about Blizzard because the company I work for is under contract with Blizzard, so I can't say anything.
Yeah, no worries.
large corporations don't like other large corporations getting larger than how large they are.
Yeah. I mean, fair play.
Which is
it's a reasonable thing.
Fair,
Yeah.
right?
No, it is. It
Because
is.
Microsoft is too big and needs to be broken down to smaller companies.
Yeah.
Microsoft is trying to become a monopoly, and
It's already there, dude. Like it.
but it's hilarious. 'Cause,
Anti-monopoly
like,
laws do not work because
they don't work. No, no, I agree with you. They don't work. They don't. So
it's corporations being corporationally. What a surprise!
Yeah. I mean, fair play. It is. It is
I have to
reasonable.
really watch my wording on my opinions about this.
Yeah,
So,
you don't have to say anything. Don't worry. Don't worry.
No. I'm just saying, like, when it comes to like anti-monopoly laws, like, they don't work. And like Microsoft is a piece of shit. And the only thing I could say now, in a derogative tone about this is it's Blizzard. Are you surprised?
Well,
It's not Sony.
Yeah, it's Sony who are being.
It's Sony.
Yeah, Sony the bad guys in this one.
Oh, okay. Let me talk shit about Sony. No, I'm
Well,
kidding.
to be
Go
fair,
on,
it was-
Let's fucking go, boys!
I mean, to be fair, we
Let's
should
go,
be going to
boys!
break. So we'll basically summarize. Sony.
I don't have any opinion about Sony. I just
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, Sony basically just said, that we're making up all this bollocks to just stop it going through. And obviously that seems really disingenuous and insincere. So hopefully that has, I mean, in my opinion, hopefully that means that it will just make things go smoother. Because I want to play Diablo 4 on Game Pass and stuff like that, basically.
I want to play Blizzard games without Bobby Kotick.
Yeah,
I've never
that as
played a
well.
Blizzard game. I realized
Never?
never. We'll talk
Wow,
about
they
that
made
in
a lot of
Diablo.
games.
Yeah, we can touch on that on the Diablo segment. But
I
what we're gonna...
want.
So go on.
No. I was saying, like, I can't wait.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I'm going to be very passionate about Diablo 4. So. And more specifically Lilith. But yes. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. Go get yourselves a drink. Go stretch your legs. Rest your eyes. All that shenanigans. And we'll be back in part 2 to discuss video games. See you
No
shortly.
pooping.
No pooping. Or if you do poop, weigh yourself before
No
and afterwards. Remember, mics are hot.
Have yourself a healthy poop.
Welcome back, everyone, to part 2 of the Fully Rendered Podcast, episode 4. We're going to be talking about games, and we've just been discussing what we were going to talk about specifically next, and the decision falls on Diablo 4. So, this is probably going to be pretty dominant by me, because I'm the Diablo fan here. So I, just to give a bit of background, play a lot of action RPGs. I play a lot of Path of Exile. I pretty much became a gamer because of Diablo 2 when I was around about 12 years old. I played it for pretty much a decade, and those types of games are basically my jam. I am big on theory crafting, things like that. So I've been playing Diablo 4, and...
Brian?
Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Go for it.
Should Lilith step on your neck?
Can what? Can Lilith step on my neck? Well, unfortunately, they only show us the first act of the game. So hopefully by Act 5, she's stepping everywhere. Because Lilith is mommy.
I was waiting for you.
Yeah. She is oddly attractive. I find that games just convince me that I have attraction to green women like the orcs in World of Warcraft. Sorry.
It's Captain Kirk syndrome.
Maybe that could be what it is. But yeah, so turning back to Diablo 4, I went into the beta with some skepticism because whilst Blizzard have a pedigree of making fantastic games and obviously being a big fan of Diablo 2, for me personally, Diablo 3 was a disappointment. I think there are things that they did well in Diablo 3. The story was not one of them. The appeal to a hardcore audience wasn't one of those things. I think couch co-op with Diablo 3 is fantastic, and it really appeals to a casual crowd. And I recognize that it was literally one of the top 10 best-selling games at some point. I think it's 17 now or something stupid like that. Like, it did well, and for good reason. So I did have concerns about Diablo 4. However, I am pleasantly surprised. There are things about it that I am absolutely in love with already, excluding Lilith. It's the gameplay. The gameplay is so fun. The combat just feels just really, really good. It's easily the best combat I've experienced in an action RPG thus far. The skill system is a little shallow, especially if you compare it to, say, Last Epoch or especially Path of Exile, where one ability can be customized in literally around about 130 different ways, so you can do effectively what you want with it. In Diablo 4, you have one ability and it can be changed in 2 ways. You can make it do one thing or you make it do the other effectively. But I understand why they've done what they've done with the skill system. One of the things about good game development is when you can teach the player things without making them...
Sorry.
Yes, timing. Good joke. But when you can teach a player things without them realize they're being taught, they don't know they're going through a tutorial, for example. And the way
I hate tutorials. That is the hardest thing to do correctly.
Yeah.
Dude, PG, I'm with you. It's like with tutorials, you're like, shut up.
Yeah.
Just let me do what I want to do. I'll figure it out.
Exactly. And Diablo 4 teaches you how to make your build or make a viable build without you realizing. Because it's kind of linear. So, for example, I've been playing the Rogue, and the first part of the tree, it's like, pick a basic skill. And it goes, here's a bunch of other skills. You would be a rogue. I intend on playing everyone, to be fair, but I wanted to go with the Rogue.
But you would be a rogue, you pirate.
Yeah, and like, goth and all that stuff. Like, I've made like a goth GF for my character. But, so yeah.
Big T goth girlfriend, you got that?
I couldn't fit. I tried to call her Big Titty Goth Girlfriend, and it was one character short, so I just called her Goth GF in the end. But yeah, but
you know what? They're cousins.
0 out of 10, worst game ever.
You what?
Hate this game.
But yeah, so
I don't want anything to do with this game. It's just
no Big Titty Goth Girlfriend.
I mean, they're in the game. You just can't name them Big Titty Goth Girlfriend.
Call them by what they are.
You just can't point out the titties.
Yeah, no, you can. You can point out the titties.
Before you get into mechanics, something I care about strangely is what's your character creation look like? Like, do you find the coat on the floor and put the coat on, or
can you make the titties big?
Can you make the titties
Tried
big?
to make the titties big because, again, I wanted to call a big titty goth girlfriend. There is no booby slider. There is no booby slider.
Worst game. 0 out of 10. 0 out of 10.
Yeah, like, fail it. Throw it in the bin. But, bearing in mind there was never character creation in the previous games. You just picked a class and that's the model you got. They've added different colored eyes, different colored hair, different colored skin tones, different jaw lines. You can't tweak the shit out of it. You can't be like, I want the mouth to be wider or higher or lower. I want the eyes to be higher, lower, wider, further apart, stuff like that. Yeah, it's basically lots of different presets that you can go through. You can do tattoos and stuff like that. I posted what mine basically looks like on Twitter if you are that keen to see it. But it's nice. It adds a reasonable amount of character creation. The character in the engine looks good as well. But
I did notice how nice that game looked.
Yes.
When I popped in your stream.
And that's on medium settings on a GTX 1080 as well.
Okay.
So
that's
1440p.
cool.
On
I like
4K, it looks even better.
I like the direction they went because like Diablo 3 was very stylized in a good way. It was like, here is the art style and we're following that. This one definitely has an art style, but they've kind of put Diablo 2 art style on top of a more photorealistic idea of a dungeon.
Dude, the fucking from what I saw of Diablo 4, because I was like seeing. God, oh, sorry. I'm sorry. That was my bad. That was my bad. Sometimes I sit all the way back. Honestly, I worry about, clipping a lot, way too much. Anyway, so I was watching Diablo for some of the cutscenes. Setter, and whoa, the mocap on the facial expressions. Yeah, beautiful, intensely beautiful. Very impressive.
And it is an extraordinarily pretty game. And the best thing is it runs on like standard Blizzard style low-end hardware. Like a lot of people are going to be able to play it. Mechanically,
Needs to be scalable,
yeah, mechanically speaking, back on the skill system, it's a little bit shallow for my tastes. I like to theory craft and things like that, but I understand why they've done it the way they have, because they want it to appeal to a wider audience, and it doesn't need to be a competitor to PoE. So I'm not going to come away from it going, oh, this isn't deep enough, fuck Diablo, Blizzard fucked my game. Because if you're going in with that expectation in the first place, you're a monumental idiot. Like, who gave you that expectation,
Is it somewhere between D2 and D3 then?
I would say it is more complex than Diablo 2. In some ways, simpler than Diablo 3. Because in Diablo 3, you could have one ability and then change that one ability in 8 different ways. But then no further than that. Whereas with Diablo 4, it is literally in 2 different ways. You pick the skill, you get a passive for that skill thereafter if you choose to, and then you have a fork and you pick one or the other. You can't have both. But then you can change the skills through items and potentially through the Paragon system. And that's the thing. For the casual audience, it's actually a really good skill system because it ensures that you pick one of all the things that you need. You're not obligated to. You could be like, I'm going to pick and have 5 basic skills, as they call it, on my hotbar. You could do that and you could potentially make it a viable build. But that's only if you know a lot about the game and how to make builds in action RPGs. Whereas the game's like literally like, okay, make sure you got one of these, make sure you got one of these, make sure you got one of these, make sure you got an escape, for example, make sure you got an ultimate ability, make sure you got something that generates resource so you can cast your abilities, things like that. So the skill system is actually pretty good and intuitive.
That sounds cool because in D3 was pointless.
So
yeah,
because it just sent you down this path. It's like, why do I need to?
Someone in my chat said like we wanted. I'm gonna read it verbatim. Because I need to ask you, Brian, because you're like more of a Diablo.
Sure.
Connoisseur. For years, we wanted what we wanted was D2 reskin. We got it. It's awesome. I'm skeptical about 4, but it looks pretty good. What would you say?
So it depends on, of course, who you're asking. At the end of the day, you're going to have hardcore Diablo fans who will speak on behalf of the entire Diablo community. And they are a minority of it at the end of the day. I am a hardcore Diablo fan, but I'm not going to go forward and say...
Oh, wait, I meant to follow up. D3 was doo-doo.
Yeah. So if you are a hardcore Diablo fan, you probably did think Diablo 3 was doo-doo because they dumbed down a lot of the game to make it very casual friendly. But then it became one of the best selling games in the world. Like, it literally became the 10th best selling game in the world.
But
that's not a doo-doo game.
Honest,
that's just not a game for that person. You know what I mean?
I remember years ago when, how long ago did D3 came out?
2012.
Okay, so it was years ago. But I do remember like when D3 was going to come out, how much everyone was like hyping up the release. So it being like, you know, such a hot seller, hot ticket item, makes sense because G2, and I'm saying this as an outside perspective. I've never played a Blizzard game. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's fair.
And when I was watching like the cutscenes for D4, I was like, was it always this dark?
So
what?
Yeah. So
but so it makes sense that it was the biggest selling game, even though I understand what you just said, that it was kind of being geared more towards casual gaming to like.
And that's the thing. The Diablo 3 is objectively a good game. If you look at it objectively, it is a good game. It just doesn't appeal to the hardcore Diablo 2 audience because, one, a lot of it's rose-tinted glasses, but also because it had a certain theme that followed on from Diablo 1 as well. And they differed with Diablo 3. With Diablo 4, they're still catering to a wide casual audience with its systems, many of which are basically copies but improvements from Lost Ark, which is like an MMO action RPG. They've clearly taken some ideas from Last Epoch as well, which are all good things, and they're executing these new mechanics into their games really, really well as well. But there's the Paragon board system, which is the end game system, and that looks like it could add a lot of depth. And I think it's a good play by Blizzard, because then most casual players are probably going to make one or two characters through the campaign and be like, I've done the campaign, I'm going to piss off and play another game now. Whereas the hardcore player base are going to be the people who are going to grind the hell out of the end game, where they can suddenly find this huge amount of depth where they have to do the theory crafting and maybe load up a spreadsheet or get a calculator out to do all their optimizations and their min-maxing. But on a surface level, extraordinarily beautiful game. Very, very fun
dude,
to
those
play.
cutscenes are stunning.
Yes.
Like I said, like the mocap for the facial animations, beautiful, stunning.
Lilith Hot
And
Mommy.
Lilith, wait, do you think there'll be a mission eventually where Lilith will step on your neck?
Hopefully so. We can only pray. We can only hope. Yes.
The pegging.
We can only hope.
She's a Pegasus.
That's the funniest thing you've ever said.
It's a winged Pegasus.
So you like the game then, bro?
I made myself cry.
But yeah, I like the game. To be fair, I was about to round up anyway, but if you are looking for a good Diablo game, they have taken a lot of things from Diablo 2, mostly like the darkness. There's no ambient ocular lighting like in Diablo 3 where everything glows in the dark. There's light radius, there's shadows, dungeons are dark, things that are supposed to be lit are actually lit.
RTX?
RTX is coming. And it already looks good.
I don't care.
It already looks good without RTX, so I am excited for RTX, even though I don't have an RTX card, because I just want to see what it looks like. I haven't experienced PvP. That's not in the beta. World bosses are sick. I literally killed a Shava prior to us going live.
Question.
Yes.
So your character in beta?
Yes.
Be carried over.
It gets carried over to the open beta next weekend. It does not get carried over to launch.
Rude.
I'm okay with it, because it means people who played it will have an advantage, because economy and stuff like that, trading is a thing in the game. So if you didn't play in the beta, you're basically going to be automatically
as an American. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, like
I was gonna be like, Capitalism! And by capitalism.
The thing is, the people who are going to be casually playing that probably aren't that interested in the beta.
Yes and no. Obviously, my first 2 hours of my day off or afternoon off yesterday was being in a queue because it is popular. It is massively popular.
Yeah, everyone was playing it.
Yeah.
Everyone was playing it.
Dude, I went on Twitch. Everyone.
Yes, everyone. Like my entire following list
And
was
on a
Diablo 4.
drinking holiday too. God damn it.
Ryan, you are my favorite Diablo 4 player.
I'm glad.
You're the only one I've ever
Ryan,
watched.
Ryan, you're my favorite Diablo 4 player too.
I'm very flattered, both of you. Thank you. But yeah, I'm optimistic. I went into it initially thinking like, oh, they might fuck it up. They're doing like justice to the lore as well, because they wrote books. They made like an anime, like a short form anime before Diablo 3 to create lore, and then barely used it. And in Diablo 4, they're referring all to it, including Lilith and her fella or ex-fella Inarius and stuff like that. So I'm actually really excited about the story and stuff. But yeah, to summarize, it's good. Optimistic. Play it if you can. It's going to be free next weekend.
You know, Brian, for you, I'll play it.
Do it.
Maybe Peachy will.
I reckon
I'll
you'll
raise
like
my
it.
eyebrows at Peachy constantly to get him.
Raise your eyebrows at Bobby Kotick.
I don't know how to do that.
With a lot of money, probably. Do you want to take over
Well,
then,
clearly
Peachy?
I don't have a lot of money because I can't figure out my own mic.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Your mic's fine. But yeah, Peachy, you wanted to talk Need for Speed, or do you want to jump into Warhammer?
I've been playing a lot of Need for Speed Unbound, and I get it. I've got 35 hours in it now. I only got it the other day.
You should just say you got a copy strike for Need for Speed.
Yeah, I did get a copy strike for Need for Speed
Oh my
because it's
God.
got music in it, which I knew might happen. So I didn't play the soundtrack today, but apparently something on my playlist is copy strike, so I got screwed. It's fine.
No, you're a fan of Cyberpunk. It makes sense.
I don't care if my mods are muted too much. It's fine. So it's different, but it's the same. If you like Need for Speed, you will enjoy Need for Speed Unbound. Everyone was complaining about the effects. I really like the effects, but I do agree. Cool. I think they look fucking dope. It actually gives Need for Speed a look. You know, you see that car going around the corner with this cell shaded tire smoke and
Peachy,
laser beams.
can I tell you some like little bit of trivia? A healthy bit of trivia.
Yeah. Okay.
Now I can say I worked on the transcriptions for Need for Speed.
Transcription, the story.
No, like the trailers and stuff.
Oh, the trailers. Cool.
That is cool.
What
do you think of the art style, Paul?
I don't like cars. I'm a woman.
Okay. Well, so the cars aren't in.
No, I really wanted to tell you, PG. I wanted to tell you when I was working on it. I was like, oh, I remember he loves this shit.
I do like Need for Speed.
But once the games are released, I'm under, the NDAs are like, void.
Right.
Now I can tell you, my friend.
Just the floodgates open.
But I don't like cars, so it doesn't matter to me.
I think it's very good. I think they've made it much more difficult because you have to make money, not only to get your car leveled up, but to pay for races. You have to. It's like an NFT. You have to pay for the ability to get the NFT. It's like the cops in it are so basically it's 50% off now. If you were turned down by the fact that it was like $70 new, which I was, it's 50 quid now and it's very good. That's all I got to say about Need for Speed.
Okay.
I used the 10 free hours out of the EA Pass thing and I was like, no, I'm gonna buy it. It's 50% off.
Right.
Warhammer. Talk about Warhammer instead. I've been trying to get through to Warhammer. So there's been a leak.
Oh boy.
There's been a leak about a new named character of the Blood Angels. Somebody got sent the wrong box and they got the brand new model, which isn't released yet, and went, I found this and put it on the internet. So Games Workshop went, ta-da! And they immediately announced it, which feeds into my tinfoil hat. They posted some teasers with a Tyrannid and there was a Terminator in the eye. Now, bear in mind, we don't have new Terminator models yet that go with the Primaris line. So I was like, ooh, new Terminator? Maybe new Terminator model? I'd like that. Then they posted like the mirror image, which was a Terminator with in the eye was a Tyranid. Tyranid I couldn't quite point out. I wasn't quite sure which one it was, but I'm not a big Tyranid person. And they immediately pulled that down. You can't find the photo anymore. I had to hunt through to find a picture for Brian.
Am I showing the right one, by the way?
That's an eyeball.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crashed for me. There we go. So this is the first one they did.
Okay.
Then the one with the metal head, that's the one they pulled down. So they released this and then pulled it down. Now, I think the reason they were fine with letting this new Blood Angel, well, he's a remake of a old model, whatever, announcing that is because Adepticon is coming really soon. And people have been talking about 10th edition. Now we're on 9th edition. They've been talking about 10th edition. And they show this. Now, the current storyline, which I will get into, Pulp. I'm going to tell you what the storyline is, all right?
Thank you.
It's about space hulks, which traditionally have Terminators on board.
Oh, by the way, for you, Peachy, I'm playing Darktide.
Oh, sweet.
I don't understand jack shit, though. I will admit, I don't understand jack shit.
I've been into the lore since I was a child. I don't understand fucking anything, dude. There's so much.
You guys want to play Darktide together?
Yeah, we can do.
Yes, 100%.
Hell yeah! That's a good stream.
So I think
go ahead.
Adepticon.
I'm just saying, I've been dipping my toes in the lore of Warhammer, specifically because I've been rude to no Peachy, because you do like to school me on the Warhammer lore, and I respect that.
It's a fun segment.
This is your schooling here. I've got 2 pages of notes.
I'm just saying.
We don't
that's
have
how you know
that long.
that's how you know what true friendship is. What's true friendship? Let me school you on Warhammer. Well, actually,
I made notes.
I brought in my own work.
And also, I've been playing the games and like looking into the lore, so I could be on a similar playing field as a homie.
Essentially, I think there is going to be a teaser or a trailer or something for the announcement of 10th edition Warhammer 40k, which is quite exciting, even for someone who doesn't play the full-scale one. I prefer Kill Team, but that's really cool because that means a lot of new models and a lot of new ideas and maybe new Terminators, and it's going to push forward the current story of Arcs of Omen to the next thing, which I think it's coming at Adepticon. Like, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I think it's coming, and I think we might see Lionel L. Johnson as well. So I'm excited for an edition of a game I don't even play, because there might be models that I can use in my own games.
Right.
So yeah, that's the teaser stuff for 40k.
Cool.
And I got nothing else.
In my chat, Peachy, in my chat, I have to read this verbatim. 2 pages of notes.
Can't hear you.
A lot less than I would have if I tried to sum up the lore.
Microphone, I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. Someone, one of my mods in my chat goes, 2 pages of notes. That's a lot less than I would have tried if I tried to sum up the lore. Peachy has shown a lot of restraint.
No, this is literally a very quick explanation of the latest Arcs of Omen book that came out. This isn't the lore of 40k.
Yeah, that's
well,
2
God
pages
damn
on
it.
an announcement.
Yeah.
Effectively. Yeah.
So my thing is like driving me insane.
So right, the Emperor is a dead corpse king who's been on the golden throne for 10,000 years.
We haven't got the time. Moving on.
All right, so so everyone who's listening is aware PG is going to hold me hostage and explain all his lore, and I'll agree to it just because my man likes some cyberpunk.
Patron goal along with a spoiler cast.
Oh my god, can you imagine? That's what we were talking about, like patron, like, you know, rewards. Just like multiple recordings of just PG trying to explain Warhammer to me.
The last recording, will you be it would just be you being a desiccated corpse like this, and him still like in the
looks like
first
the
3
God
pages
Emperor
of a book.
First off, I have to establish this. I'm a good sport,
You
and
are.
I will be like, and then later, and you have to like do a cutaway every now and again, just where I go like, to Brian. I don't give a shit about what he's talking.
I'll just have like Warhammer 40k pom-poms.
If
Like, you
that's
can
not,
do it.
if that's not a quality Patreon reward of just me shit talking, like Peachy trying to school me, and then me turning to Brian and going like, "This fucking asshole."
Don't worry.
Is he still
Don't
talking
worry.
about
Don't worry,
Warhammer?
chat. I will keep it going with knowledge. I'll just feed a 10,000 psychers a day. That's a joke for people who know what I'm talking about.
Which neither of
I
us
mean,
do.
Also,
No, you're
chat.
not.
Let me put it this way: I am a very educated woman who knows how to go. Oh my god, really? Oh my.
Perfection.
Magical powers.
And then I'll be a two-faced bitch, turn to Brian and be like, "This fucking asshole."
What is Warhammer?
Brian, what are the 2 little things?
The two
That's why
little-
Peachy and I are. This is how Peachy and I became friends.
Sorry, 2 little things.
Yeah, on the second half, because we have 6 minutes left.
Yes, so there's just a couple of game announcements. V Rising. So for those of you familiar with the survival game, that's
Oh,
based...
the new DLC.
Yes, that comes out in May. I don't think we have the specific date, but it's in May. So free
May.
DLC at that. Exo Primal, for those who are not familiar, imagine Earth Defense Force, but dinosaurs and exosuits. So it kind of has a Dino Crisis vibe. It's done by Capcom. The release is July 14th, and it's a day 1 Game Pass game. Apparently, it's kind of fun. Like, Earth Defense Force is kind of fun. Bit
I mean,
jank,
you
but
said
it's fun.
Dino Crisis. I'm interested, you know?
Yeah, it looked...
Can I?
When it was announced, everyone was like, oh, it's going to be Dino Crisis. And then like, it's Exo Primal.
We have to announce the sad news. Peachy. System
Oh,
Shock.
they've announced the release date of System Shock remake, and it's
I know.
the end of May.
I was so close when I said 3 months. Last
I
episode.
think. Can I pull a Peachy?
Have you got just 2 pages of notes on about how it's been delayed?
No. What are you playing next week? Resident Evil 4. RE4. RE4. It's coming out.
I don't think
Did you guys play?
Peachy's
you guys-
not an RE4 fan.
Can you do it for me?
Well, can I play it? Not fucking $60, I can't.
No, the demo.
The demo.
Do you want it?
Oh, is the demo on Steam or something?
Is it on PC? Because I don't have a PlayStation 5.
It's on PC.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on PC.
I will give
Oh.
it a go.
I'll look, and next week we'll come back, and I will have 2 pages of note about Warhammer.
2 pages of notes. All about it.
There's a free demo right now on Steam.
Yeah, I would genuinely check it out for you.
Apparently,
I'll do the same,
there's.
because you listened to me talk about 40k.
I will buy it for both of you.
No, don't buy it. Don't buy it because I won't play it. I'll play the demo, but
Too late.
I probably won't play RE4.
Too late. You want a sugar mama, baby girl?
Reject it. Get a set of
Rude.
horns. Get a set of horns, and then we'll talk.
What if it was gifted to you from Lilith?
Well, if it's actually Lilith, then I'll you know. But no, I'm not a horror game fan.
Spoiler alert: I'm not Lilith.
Damn it, rejected. But no, I'm not a horror game fan. I don't play horror games generally. I will play
It's
the
not-
demo though. I will play the demo for you. I know it's more
Can
action
you at
horror.
least play the demo?
I will.
please?
I just promised that I bloody will. Look, pinky promise.
I don't believe you.
Chat. Look, I'm doing the thing.
I don't believe you.
Brian just did the pinky thing with the bendy pinky finger,
I
for
did.
those listening.
Did. Look, pinky. Look. Go on, pinky promise. To the edge. To the edge.
Yeah, I'm giving you a limp pinky
Oh,
because I don't believe
oh,
you.
but then we're not going to
Limp Pinky,
promise.
my favorite new metal band, Limp
Yeah.
Pinky.
I promise I will play it. Starfield released, the release date
Release date.
rather, September 6th. They're doing a big old fat showcase on June 11th, dedicated to it.
because not that long ago they were advertising for story writers.
I think that's probably because they're going to be doing like a big open world pseudo live
Oh, I
service
hope
thing,
so,
aren't
because
they?
that's fucking scary to be like, hey, we need some writers. Oh, the game's coming out in July.
It'll probably be for DLC though, I reckon.
Okay, I hope so.
Yeah, the fact they've announced the date, like, I highly doubt that they're not prepared.
I mean, yeah. The size of that company, they know when their game's going to be ready.
Was there any other news that we quickly wanted to touch on? Did anyone
Resident
have
Evil 4.
anything? Resident Evil 4. We talked about Resident Evil 4, but we can talk about it again. Do you want to talk about it again?
Yeah,
No? Okay. Was there any other stories that either of you wanted to cover?
There is a huge scandal. I told you about the cheating scandal in F1 esports.
Oh, okay, yeah.
One of the professional drivers has not been proved to be cheating, but a lot of drivers on the grid have been hinting that they strongly suspect he might be cheating.
Right.
And that's not a good look for esports because F1 23, 22, whatever we're on now, doesn't have anti-cheat. And they are actually using some of the pro esports players to test some cheats. So it looks like they're going to try and stamp this out. So that's a good thing because
Right.
it's not a good look right now. There's also been cheating coming out of another couple of sim races and stuff. So it's good to get it out there, I think, and hopefully we can crush this.
Cheers. Let me explain some other cheating. I just tried to buy both of you on Steam Resident Evil 4, but I can't. I'm not friends with you.
We are friends. We're friends, okay?
No,
Pulp's
on
chat.
Steam though.
Yeah, but we
Pulp's
are
chat.
friends in real. For
Yes,
real.
we are friends in real life, but don't get me a hurricane.
I was
I'm not
trying
gonna
to
play a hurricane.
surprise you both with the game,
Friend.
and Steam was just not cooperating.
Pope, I love you. I thank you, but don't get me the game, please. I won't play it.
I'm
It'll be a
definitely
waste of
buying
your
you the
money.
game.
Buy me a bottle of rum.
Yo
That will
ho,
get
yo
used.
ho, right.
But yeah,
Buy me a bottle of rum.
was there anything else before we start doing shout outs?
No, I'm just
Pretty
mad
much
that you guys don't
otherwise.
want it.
I'll play the demo.
I'll play the demo
Thank
too.
you.
I will
Thank
play
you.
the demo.
I
And we
promise
will,
we'll play the
there will
demo.
be a section in a fortnight about Resident Evil 4 demo. Okay?
Yes, we'll have a dedicated.
This is a
segment.
big deal.
It is.
Big deal.
It
I'll do shadow karate for you. Just show you how excited I am.
I'm looking forward to that now. I'll play the demo twice. But let's start with some shout outs, or finish with some shout outs rather. Pope, who is your daddy and what does he do?
I don't have a daddy. I am a former Instagram model who is now a variety Twitch streamer, and I am very excited for fucking Resident Evil 4.
Yeah! Where can we find you?
Pulp Fiction on everything except Twitter because someone took my name. It was their fault. They're not malicious. I just was too late to the party. And Pulp Fiction except Plot Fiction on Twitter. Just kidding. Playing Resident Evil 4.
Fantastic. And Poochie.
My name is Peachy Pixelate. Pixelate is a word. It's not a random number. Pixelate. That's
Holy
neat.
shit, I've only just realized that. I'm not even
fucking-
kidding.
No, oh
I
my
always
God,
thought it
Brian,
was Pixel
Brian.
8.
Wait,
I was
really?
like, yeah.
Oh my God, am I ahead of the curve for you guys? I remember when I first read it.
Oh,
I read Peachy's name out loud. I was like, oh my God, that makes sense.
I just thought it was because someone else had Peachy Pixel.
I thought you liked the number 8.
Yeah.
well, I do because it's involved in 8-bit. It's a very clever name. Pixel 8-bit, because I used to make 8-bit music. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter. And in the links, wherever you consume this current cast of pods about Resident Evil 4.
Fantastic. And finally, hello everyone. Farewell, everyone. I'm Brian the Pirate. I am on all platforms ever that have existed as Brian the Pirate. If you want to follow me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, or TikTok, I will be streaming after this show, after I've had a quick break. So about half an hour from now, I'll be playing some Diablo 4. Thank you to my co-hosts, Pope and her
I'll be
bucket.
streaming in about an hour and a half myself, but
And she'll be streaming as well.
Her bucket.
Pope and a bucket.
I was too passionate about Resident Evil 8.
She was not too passionate, don't worry. But yes, so thank you all. Thank you to my co-hosts, both Pope and Peachy, for joining us. The episode will be going live on Spotify and YouTube and iTunes tomorrow at some point when I'm awake after binging on Diablo 4, of course. But thank you all for watching. Farewell. We'll remember you.
Bye.
Hello.
Bye.